It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Happy 2020.
Woo!
How are you?
Roaring 20s. I'm good, although everybody in my house is sick except for my son Luke, but my stepson, I think, has the flu. And now my husband got a flu shot yesterday, but now he feels like he has the flu.
Yeah, too late, buddy. Too
yeah,
late.
Exactly. So I think he was thinking maybe he could fend it off, and yeah. So I'm like, great. I slept in the same bed as you last night.
Did you get the flu shot?
Sick. No, I don't get the flu shot because I got it once and it made me feel terrible.
I have gotten the flu shot once and it was because of Baker, and it would pass on to him, like some of the antibodies. So I got it while I was pregnant, but I've never gotten it since.
Yeah. I like Luke gets it, and he's funny because he's so, again, he's so, what's the word exactly? Well, he's so like 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
He's like, Mom, I need to get my flu shot. I haven't gotten my flu shot. And he has gotten his, but he always reminds me. It's so funny. He's like, he feels naked without his flu shot every year. So
does he ask you when his first prostate exam should be?
Seriously.
It's never too early.
That's right.
Preventative is the best medicine.
That's right. When do I start getting colonoscopies? So anyway, which I have to share. Sorry, my brain went there because I was just looking at this on Facebook. No. I have a good girlfriend who unfortunately has to, and she's like my age. She's in her 40s, and she found out that she had cancer, colon cancer. So they had to remove it. And so she's got to have a colostomy bag. Ugh. So, which, all of us are like, oh my gosh, you poor thing. And I'm going to try and go up and visit her. She lives up in Tennessee. But you know what she's doing? This woman, bless her heart, she is so amazing. She's decided that she's going to make a business making cute colostomy bags. So like,
I want to say something like that exists.
It may very well, but but it's going to be her thing and her, So she's just started making them. I just saw a picture on Facebook of her. She's making some for kids, that she's just going to give to them because they're her beginner ones. She's learning how to make them. But I was like, talk about making lemonade, like
totally.
I just admire her so much. And she's a mom too. Mm-hmm. She's got two grown boys, who are awesome. One of them just got married, but anyway, I just had to share that because I just thought, wow, what an awesome person to be able to do that,
Yeah. And I think that's all mindset, right? Like for me, that's something that I wanted to try to do in 2020 and it wasn't a resolution. It was just like I just wanted to do a mind shift change. Uh-huh. And so today is a great example. So all week Baker has gotten up and we've gotten him in school by 7:00. And I've been back home by 7 or wherever I needed to be on time.
Yeah.
And this morning, man, not happening.
No.
It was like, do you know when you try to pick them up and they do what I consider an alligator roll?
Oh, where they like stiff
as a board,
arch their
flip,
back.
Yeah. Flip. Yeah. And it's just like, you can't do anything. And so then he cries in bed for 15 minutes, like just whining. I mean, he's 2. So like,
yeah.
Par for the course, right?
Yeah.
But so my typical mindset would be like, get him ready, just barrel through it. Yeah. But this year I decided I'm not doing that. I'm going to, because he'll settle down eventually after time, but it's how much time, and I try to say things and push him along without stressing myself out and stressing him out, because I feel like what happens for me is that I push and stress and everything else to where the result is we're late and we're late and now we're stressed and late.
Exactly.
So, today we were supposed to record and I was 30 minutes late because of that and the computer and,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'll say a little prayer for you for the rest of the day.
I know. Because, it's like once that ball's in place, you're like, perfect. The rest of the day is going to be amazing.
Domino effect. But you're right, though, especially with little kids, especially toddlers. Mm-hmm. I think that sometimes you just got to let them, fine, you want to throw a tantrum or you want to scream and cry. Mm-hmm. I'll be over here while you do that.
Yeah.
I used to do that with Luke all the time. If he just, and he stopped actually, you know, he tried to pull the tantrum in the grocery store and all that kind of stuff early on. And I would just feel like, you look stupid. And I would just stand there and look at him and just feel like, okay, well, I'm going to pick out something over here while you lie there on the floor kicking and screaming.
Oh,
and
yeah.
When you're done, let me know.
Baker did that in the grocery store too. Like,
yeah,
he was in the cart and he was like kicking me. So I had to like push the cart really far out because it kicks right in your bladder. And I'm like, thanks, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Owie.
And yeah, so he just threw a fit for like 15 minutes, like bawling, crying. And I was like, I'm just proceeding with my day and I'm not going to acknowledge that you were doing anything.
Exactly. Yep. That's what I used to do too. And I think it really helped because they just realized that they're not getting a rise out of you and that's it. And also another tip, never start getting them stuff from the aisles, like candy
Brad
and stuff. Oh, I would kill Brad if he were my husband.
Yeah. No, I told him, I was like, never get him anything at the store ever again. He's like, well, it's just a, you know, Hot Wheels. I was like, I don't care.
No, because then every time you're in the aisle, they're going to expect something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why he was losing his mind because he's like, I want that. I want this. I want that. And I was like, okay, well, I said, you can have, you know, because he picked out like a puzzle. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll get you a puzzle because it's on sale and like, it's Christmas. Yeah. Like, okay, we'll get you a puzzle. And so I gave him the puzzle and then he's like, oh, I want the game instead. And I was like, okay, well, we'll put the puzzle back and you can have the game. Same, you know, similar price, very like under $5. Yeah. And then he saw this gigantic like truck. And it was, you know, it was bigger than an Xbox. Like,
oh boy.
And he has a ton, like Santa brought him like a ton of Hot Wheels, monster trucks, Hot Wheel. I mean, like he's got like bazillions, like stuff. He's only 2, like it's only going to get worse.
Yes.
And I was like, no, you cannot have that. And he's like, I want it. And then I said, buddy, you have your game. I don't. And he like turned around, reached in the cart in the cart, threw the game.
Oh.
I was like, that shit's going back now too. I was like, you're not getting anything, buddy.
Yeah.
He started losing his mind. And I had to find one thing. I couldn't find it. And Brad wasn't answering, but I was like, good. I was like, answer the phone. Because he knows where it is. He goes grocery shopping more than I do.
Okay.
It was really weird because it was like on the end of the aisle on the very bottom shelf. So it would have never found it. Never.
What were you looking for?
Coconut milk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Huh.
So, yeah. And I was like, I mean.
Yep. And anybody that gives you disapproving looks when your kid is throwing a tantrum, exactly. Well, they obviously never had a kid because every kid does it.
Or they forget.
Or that's true too. They might forget. I don't forget. I haven't forgotten that stuff. I hated it.
We were in the airport and some lady like walked in front of us to get on the train to the next terminal. Yeah. And like it was Brad and I and Baker in his stroller. And I was like, and she had 2 kids. I was like, how quickly you forget how hard it is to maneuver with a freaking stroller.
Yes. Oh my god.
So like I would just gave her daggers. I was like,
yeah.
Because like you have 2 kids. Like, did you forget that it's not easy? And like, we had been there before and she like cut us off. I was like, you.
Oh, that's so rude. I hate, you frickety frack. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I remember too the first time I traveled with Luke and I guess he was around a year. Well, he must have been like a year and a half because he could walk. Mm-hmm. But it was still, you know, and it was not long after 9/11, you know, it was only a year or 2 after 9/11. Mm-hmm. So they've just started the whole thing where you got to take your shoes off and go through all this rigmarole. And now they've learned, I've noticed that they've learned to accommodate for people with small children. But then it was just, you know, it was like, you know, Gestapo security and they were not patient with me at all. And I was by myself and I was like, you got to hang on. I've got to get everybody's shoes off, you know, my shoes, his shoes, you know, I've got to do this. I've got to get the stroller and everything folded up and to put through the security and, you know, and it was just like, come on. And they're trying to push me through. And I was like, you try doing this, you know. And BT Dub, I couldn't bring breast milk through or, you know, like all that kind of, or snack. There were certain things I couldn't bring through for him. And yes, it was awful. So yes, that's a good point. I think maybe some people just forget.
Let's raise our right hand and vow. Repeat after me. I will never forget what it's like to be a mother and have compassion upon others.
I will never forget what it's like to be a mother and have compassion upon others. Can't believe I remembered all that.
Yeah, it was long. I should have stopped, but I'm not a very good person with that. But okay, so so all that negative go away. We're moving on to our first podcast of the year.
That's right.
How exciting.
Positivity.
Yeah. So something you brought up to me.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Okay. Well, and I did post this on our Facebook too. I got to see a really good girlfriend, one of my best friends. She was a bridesmaid at my wedding. We've been friends for 20 years. She lives a couple hours away. And so she happened to be in town for the day and asked if I wanted to meet for lunch. I was like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So we met for lunch, and then she came back to my house for a little while and we hung out. And it was just so awesome.
Nice.
To spend time with her. It's just, you know how it is with good friends. Even if you don't see them in forever or talk to them in forever, it's like no time has passed. You pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
So, and I realized how good you feel. And then last night, actually, too, I went to play Bunko. Have you ever played Bunko?
No. I've heard of it, but I don't know.
I'd never played it before either, and I'm still not entirely sure I know how, but I just followed everybody's lead. And I told Luke, I was like, okay, I'm playing Bunko, so you're on your own for dinner. And if you want to know what Bunko is, it's a bunch of middle-aged ladies playing dice.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was a card game.
No, it's a dice game. It's a dice
card game.
It's
like, it starts with a P.
Bikino.
Parcheesi? No, I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, so I did that. And that was really fun too. So I got some really good girl time in yesterday. And I was thinking about how hard it is. Like, even I have two other really good girlfriends from college that live here in town. They don't even live a couple hours away. They live right here. Mm-hmm. And I see them maybe like twice a year. And it's so silly because we're so busy being moms and wives and professional women, and just we never make time for each other. And so I posed this question on the I Can't Mom Today podcast Facebook and on my personal Facebook. What do you do to make sure that you spend time with your friends?
Yeah.
Like, how do you make that happen? Because we all agree, in fact, we've talked about it on a previous podcast, that it's good for you, but how do you make it happen? And I think that that's a really good resolution to have as we get into the new year. I'm going to spend more time with my girlfriends, damn it.
Yeah. And I think I started doing that last year. And I think it also is a mind shift, because as a mom, you feel guilty about not spending time with your family, not spending time with your, you have work to do, you have friends to cater to. And it's just like, do what makes you happy. And I think my pendulum swung the other way. Like, it was like, I'm only, I rarely spend time with any of my friends unless Brad's at drill. And now I'm going the opposite way, where it's like, I've started filling up every weekend with going to see my friends.
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, I'll see you later, Brad. Have fun with Baker.
Yeah. Have fun with the baby.
And it's kind of an easy transition easy fit for us, because Brad doesn't have a lot of guy friends that he hangs out with often.
Yeah.
I encourage it all the time. I'm like, go meet up with them. He's like,
yeah.
I'm like, do it. Just do it.
No, like my girlfriend's husband, every Sunday he goes and watches football with his buddies every Sunday.
Yeah. And mine are usually like an hour or two. It's not like a football game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So every once in a while, there's a little bit of a bone of contention with that, but
yeah.
But I think that men are so much better about that. Well, plus too, men, I've noticed, at least with my husband, with his friends, he'll pick up the phone and be like, hey man, you want to meet me for a beer? And it'll be, in an hour. Yeah, sure. Whereas women don't do that. We always plan. Everything has to be planned like way ahead of time. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and that's, I don't know. Brad usually, will ask last minute to do things. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like, absolutely. Yeah. Unless there's something that I just, I can't, I can't get away from, I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I would say 99% of the time, I'm like, yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's important that you go see your friends.
I will tell you, and somebody responded to my Facebook post saying that and I thought it was kind of funny the way she worded it. She said, I force myself to see my friends once a month or something, like just like my husband does with something. I can't remember what it is that her husband does, but I thought it was just funny that she said, I force myself. And I almost commented back like, force yourself.
Yeah.
That's like, don't make it sound like a chore. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
But she was, I think she didn't mean it that way. It just kind of came across like that to me initially, but she's right. I mean, you just got to basically consider it like a doctor's appointment, or, it's good for you. You need it.
Yeah, I saw one of my good friends that lives in town as well over the break. And I was like, oh, I'll come see you when Brad has drill because it's just easier to do things with Baker. And they want to see Baker, and Brad's a very big homebody. And so I was like, hey, are we still on for this weekend? They're like, yeah. And I said, okay, so what day works? And it's hard when you have a toddler, and they live like an hour away. So it's not like a real quick 15-minute drive or something, and Baker falls asleep in the car. So I'm trying to strategically plan this around his nap time. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, we could go at 9, but we have to leave by 11 to be able to have him in bed on time, or for nap where he doesn't fall asleep in the car and just ruins his nap. And I was like, or he wakes up around 3 and, we can come over after that, which would be 4. And then we have to leave no later than 6 to get home by, and time sleep. So
I remember that. I remember trying to function around nap time. Yep.
It's a mess. Don't get me wrong. I love nap time.
Yes.
Because that means I can get some stuff done.
Exactly. Oh, for sure. Or like eat. I remember I used to eat my lunch during Luke's nap time because it was so hard to eat when he was around, because you're constantly chasing after them or whatever. So I don't have a problem
eating. No problem whatsoever. But
I'll tell you, I was going to say another strategy that I've just started, my girlfriends and I've started to implement that my 2 friends that live here in town is we meet for breakfast. Because
during the week?
Yeah. Like before work. So we'll meet at like 7:30 or whatever,
What time do they work?
The one, depending on whether she has a meeting or not, like they can both get into work at like 9.
Oh, nice.
So that gives us an hour. I mean, I know not everybody, some people have to work at 8 or 8:30. So that would be like, want to meet at 6 a.m.? Yeah.
But some people, I mean, that's a good option.
Yeah.
Because then you have a deadline, so you can't really like stay too late.
Mm-hmm. And it's done. And it's kind of nice because it's quiet and you just, you catch up. If you just make it a point to do that like once a month with your, to catch up with each other, see how everybody's doing, and, just work it into your day. Because lunch, we tried to do lunch and I felt like, you really only have an hour for lunch. So by the time you leave your office, meet at the restaurant,
like 15 minutes.
You get like half an hour and that's not enough time. Whereas you meet for breakfast like an hour and a half before you need to be at work. That gives you a full hour to, or a little over an hour to catch up.
Yeah. Or you could start a podcast.
Yeah, you could do that.
Because I honestly, like, I don't have a lot of friends that I talk to. And like, talking on the phone has become something that doesn't happen anymore. We all want to text and immediate response, or we're too busy and stuff like that. And so I think the podcast has been great for our friendship because it just like we would go months without talking, and then we'd have a binge of like 6 hours.
That's true.
Once a quarter, twice a year, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that has helped strengthen our friendship. Well, I mean, not strengthen it, but reinforce it, I guess.
Yeah. No, actually, that's true. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Even if nobody listens to your podcast.
No, we have listeners. And thank you for listening.
Yes.
But maybe have a creative outlet with one of your friends. Is it crafting? Is it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen to an audiobook and just being able to debrief about it.
Yeah.
Way to work or something. Cause I'll do that. I have a colleague that is in another industry now, and she, like, I'll call her and on her way to work, I'm like, hey, and we'll just chit chat for 10 minutes and move on.
Yeah. Actually, that's my girlfriend. She'll call me a lot of times on her way home from work because she hasn't picked up her son yet.
Yeah.
And it's like a good 20-minute drive or whatever. So she's got 20 minutes so she can talk. And so we often talk on her way home from work. Yeah. So that's another good one. Even if you can't get together, you just make it a point, like, to make your phone calls when you're driving one way or the other.
I have a good guy friend in Florida that I do that with. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll call me sometimes and I'm like, what do you need? And he's like, I'm just driving home. I'm like, okay. I do the same thing because we know that each other, we're going to pick up because I don't mind talking on the phone. It's not I'm not like, oh no, God, I cannot never talk on the phone. But there are certain people I won't talk on the phone with, but you know.
And those people are, do you want to name them now?
Vera, Jerry. I'm just kidding. No, but like she was saying, like there's some people that you just have never had that relationship of talking on the phone.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yep.
So it would be weird to talk on the phone with them.
Yeah. But I'm
still in the old school of like, I'll pick up a phone anytime and talk to somebody.
Yeah. Well, there's sometimes, doing what I do for a living, doing voiceovers, sometimes like I get tired of the sound of my own voice. So,
so do we.
Thanks. Love you. I mean it. So I do sometimes, like by the end of the day, I'm like, I just don't want to talk. I just don't want to, don't want to talk.
And I'm the opposite. I sit in the office in my house all day and don't interact with anybody unless they call the office.
Oh,
so I'm very willing to let people talk to me.
There you go. I should have Jerry call you sometime.
Oh my gosh. Only if I have time.
That's one of the reasons I married. That's my husband. That's one of the reasons that I married him, was because he talks. So all I have to do is listen. And if I'm tired of talking, then I just let him talk. It's great.
Yeah. He's a chatterbug, that one.
He is. God bless him. I love him.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but he tells really great stories. He's a very good storyteller.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. Remember when you used to babysit for Lucas?
I do.
And we would come home, Jerry and I would come home, and Jerry would just like talk to Heather for like an hour.
It would be like an hour.
And you'd be like, dude, it's midnight. I want to go home and go to sleep.
I was so tired too that night. Like one night in particular, he was eating chips when he got home. He would, and this is the only one I really vividly remember. He was talking to me and he would like start a sentence, eat a chip, finish the sentence. And I was like, when is my good time to like break into this story and say I have to go? And it's like I would get the balls essentially to say like, be like, and he'd start talking. I was like, son of a bitch.
I know. It's so funny because he speaks very purposefully and slowly. And that was too when we were first dating. I had to learn when I could break it, when he was done and when he wasn't, because I wasn't always sure when he was done.
Yeah,
because he'd pause, and you're like,
and it was like what we would consider a pregnant pause.
Yes,
maybe a triplet pregnant pause.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, God bless him. It's so funny. Yeah, now I figured it out. And then, and there were some times too where he'd be talking and I'd have to pee. And and I'd be like crossing my legs, like, okay, are you done yet? And then finally, like as I got more comfortable with him, I'd just be like, Jerry, hold that thought. I gotta go pee.
I gotta
go. Oh, okay. He didn't mind. Oh my gosh. Wow. So spending time with your girlfriends, it's very important. But the breakfast idea was good. And like the one woman said on Facebook about how she forces herself to make sure she meets up with her girlfriends once a month. Bunko, like doing something like book club. If you like to read, but even if you don't, we used to do book club too. And we called it, all we read is wine labels.
Okay.
I don't actually read any books.
Yeah.
But the Bunko thing, my girlfriend started that, and that's once a month. And so that's pretty cool. If you do that, you make it a point. And they decided it was like the first Wednesday of every month, except for this year because of, it was New Year's Day at first Wednesday.
Yeah. There's a show actually called, I think like Good Girls or something like that, where it's like 3 moms that go to book club, but they're really robbing like businesses.
Ooh, is it good?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It made me very anxious though. There were times where I'm like, it was very got you really involved in it, but it's supposed to be coming back on. So I've been waiting for it.
I'll have to look for it because I'm always looking for new TV. I'm such a TV-aholic.
Yeah, it's like one of those CBS, ABC, NBC. I can't remember which.
I could probably find it on like Hulu or something.
Yeah. Definitely. I can't remember if it's Netflix or Hulu, but one of them has it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
All right. Well, until next time, go on to our Facebook page, I Can't Mom Today podcast, and let us know what you do to kind of spend that time with your friends. Like what creative ways have you found that make it easy for you and your friends to connect and get that girl bonding?
Exactly. And don't forget, you can listen to us on YouTube if you aren't already. at I Can't Mom Today podcast, and subscribe to us, please, because we need subscribers, because that's where we could actually possibly maybe get a sponsor. An advertiser.
Well, and leave us a review too, because that is how a lot of those ratings work, is that by reviews. So downloads and reviews.
Too. There you go, man. We're over 4,000 downloads now.
Yes.
Cool. Yay.
I don't know it's going to take too long for me to pull it up. I'll have it for next time, though.
It's over 4,000, Mm-hmm. So thank you for listening.
Yes,
and you can email us too, ican'tmomtodaypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what you are, need help with, or if you want us to talk about anything. And obviously we will, if you want us to keep you anonymous or you're asking for a friend.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to say who you are. Yep.
Yes. All right. Until next time, have a good start to 2020.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.